Robert Rodriguez crashed onto the film's scene in 1993 with his $7,000 El Mariachi and then followed up last year with Desperado. And now he's calling the shots behind Quentin Tarantino's From Dusk Till Dawn. Tara McCool talked to the hot young filmmaker in New York.
How many with you?
They're going to search the van.
As long as you don't act like... No, it would be just fine.
What the hell's that supposed to be?
What?
Open up, I'm coming aboard.
What was that nuttiest thing I did, Ted? I'm curious. Tell me, what? What was it?
It's another time, Mitchell.
I know. Was it possibly when your ass was rotting in jail and I broke it out? Was that the nuttiest thing? That was nutty, not to mention stupid.
I first thought that George Clooney was kind of a strange choice for this one, but did he ever pull it off? He was just great.
He's great. It was one of those things where if I told him he didn't pull it off, he could blame me. If he pulled it off, we both look like geniuses.
That's
and in
right.
fact, he loves action. He loves that sort of thing, and that's the only thing I wanted to make sure before I hired him, that he was into that, because then I knew he'd take it all the way, and he did. He wasn't getting offered movie roles at that time when I cast him. He was just going to go on hiatus, and we came together very quickly, offered him the role, and wanted to get someone who was new, so that you hadn't seen in that kind of part already. Otherwise, it's not as exciting. It's very exciting to see him on the poster and think, wow, I haven't seen this before. Because the movie's like that. The movie's such a strange mix of two pictures that you can't cast people that you've seen do this before, because it's not like that. It's totally new, so you need new people in it.
And what you said was really true, but you're not only held responsible for his performance, but you're held responsible for everything. And I think it's amazing that now that you have bigger budgets, you still want to shoot it, edit it, everything.
Yeah, I'm adding some extra jobs too. I'm official sound mixer now. Because I've always mixed my movies, my music in my movies, and I'm officially on that. And that's why you see my name in the credits again. I like making movies, not just overseeing them, but really making them, like I did on the first Mariachi, where I didn't have a crew, just out of necessity. But I actually found that I enjoyed that experience, and I don't want to give that up and take an overseeing position, because that's not where the action is. It's right there on the floor.
I'm just reading your book right now.
Oh, really?
It's very interesting how you went about it, and I think that a lot of people still don't know how you came up with that first $3,000 for the movie. You were a lab
Even
rat,
I forget.
right?
It seems like a lifetime ago. Yeah, and the thing is, it just didn't seem weird at the time. Looking back, it sounds completely bizarre. But you just do what you got to do sometimes, and that seemed perfectly logical to me, that if I couldn't afford to make a movie, how do you get fast capital without having to work? I already had 2 jobs, just paying for school and apartment. So I checked into that place for a month. It's a hospital where they test pharmaceuticals on you, and you can't leave. So I wrote my script while I was in there, watched a lot of movies, got paid $3,000 at the end of it. They took all my blood, and they gave me some weird lower your cholesterol drug for a while. It was an experimental thing. But when I got out, I had money to go drop into the movie. I had a script that was finished that I wrote 3 weeks out of the 4 weeks that I was in there. And it was, I felt like I got paid to write a script. So.
Yeah, well, it's a great book, and I like your thinking, in that you don't have to go to film school, and even people who've been in film school tell me, Tara, you only need to take 1 course, really, to learn how to make a film. So, I mean, you think that it's practical learning over...
Yeah, well, I mean, the first pioneers of film, they didn't go to film school. They were making of it as they went, and that's how I learned. In fact, that's why you see my name in the credits so much, because I learned wrong. I learned how to do it just out of necessity, and that's how the whole style came about. And that's all right, too. There's no one way to do it, and sometimes a school can teach you a certain path, which might not even be valid anymore. A lot of times isn't. Look how expensive movies are in Hollywood right now. It's because they're still doing old methods that are so outdated. And we can make a movie at a 1/6 of the cost that looks just like any of those bigger movies, but without the price tag. And it gives us more freedom to do what we want.
And that's the magic of making movies, right?
Anyway, yeah, it really comes down to your creativity, not your wallet, and sometimes people forget that.
Now, you and Quentin Tarantino first met at a Toronto Film Festival, right?
Yeah,
you were both having your debut films?
Yeah, and both of our films were very bizarre. They both had guys dressed in black, carrying guns, and they weren't your typical first films or even the usual festival fare. So we found a real kinship in the kind of movies that we liked to watch and liked to make. So that's when we first started talking about teaming up and doing something.
Later on that day, I went outside to play with my doll, the only one I managed to hide from David.